What's up, guys? Alex Jason back here with a brand new video. Hopefully you have a great day tonight if you guys are in this world. And the topic of today's video is Carmelo Anthony is still out of a job. Mind-boggling to me. This man can still play basketball at a very high level. This is not some schmuck who's a free agent hoping to get a job. This is Carmelo Anthony we're talking about. Many-time All-Star, MVP candidate. Yes, has not had playoff success, but we're not talking about that. The number 3 pick in the 2003 draft, Carmelo Anthony, absolutely killed it in Denver. Absolutely killed it in New York for many years. And yes, he got older, but the man doesn't have a job. Then gets traded to OKC. That doesn't work out. Gets traded to Atlanta/Houston. Goes to Houston there for 14 games and gets cut. What is up with Carmelo Anthony? What I'm going to talk about in today's video, it's a shame. Hopefully Carmelo Anthony can get a job. And this is my opinion. So a quick tweet from Shams. If New York had landed 2 major free agents this summer, the franchise had planned to consider bringing back Carmelo Anthony, league sources tell ESPN. So you're saying to me, if the Knicks got, like, hypothetically Kyrie and Durant, they would have brought back Melo? You're not telling me that'd be a disgusting lineup? Oh, yes, it would be. Even if the Knicks brought Carmelo Anthony back right now, with neither KD or Kyrie on the roster, that'd still be a good pickup for the Knicks. Any team could take Carmelo Anthony, and that'd be a good pickup. I don't care if you're the Charlotte Hornets, who are the worst team in the NBA, or the Philadelphia 76ers, or some top-of-the-line team in the NBA right now, the Clippers, the Lakers. You could get Carmelo Anthony on your roster and have a very valuable player on your team. Okay, if Carmelo Anthony comes off the bench, he may not want to do it, but at this point, I'm sure he's begging to come off some team's bench. He'd still absolutely kill it for any team, and here's why. Last year, for the 14-ish games he played for the Houston Rockets, 30 minutes he played, yes. Almost got 14 points a game. No, he's not averaging like 30 like he used to, but the man can still play. The year before in OKC, 16 points a game on 32 minutes. The year before, 34 minutes, 23 points a game. And you're telling me Melo can't play basketball anymore? You're telling me this man can't get a job? He's better than Danny Green, who's on the Lakers. He's better than half the people on the Clippers roster. Yeah, I'll go back to the Lakers. He's better than half the people on the Lakers roster. He's better than the whole Hornets roster. He's better than everybody on the Hornets roster. And you're telling me this man can't get a job? Something just seems fishy there. Like I'm not going to go into conspiracy theories. I'm not about that. Just something does not seem right. Maybe he really just wants to start, and that is really what's going on here, and teams don't want that. But hey, let the man start, because he can still ball. Now I'm going to go to some teams that should pick him up, and I'm saying every team should pick him up personally, but I'm going to go to some realistic options for Carmelo Anthony's career right now. These are in no particular order, but one team that came to mind is the Portland Trailblazers. I just wrote a little bit thing, so if I look at like some notes, that's what I'm doing over here. So the reason why I said the Portland Trailblazers is because they have Damian Lillard. They just re-signed CJ McCollum on a humongous contract. They have Yusuf Nurkic, who will come back eventually. I'm not sure when or how well he'll be at, or if he'll ever be at full capacity again because of his terrible injury he had in the playoffs. But let's just say they all come, Nurkic comes back healthy, and CJ and Dame are still playing at an extremely high level they play at, and they sign Carmelo. I've said this before. The team they have right now will never compete for anything. I'm not saying Melo will bring them right over the hump, but it'll give them a pretty darn good chance to make a little bit of a more run. They made the Western Conference Finals last year. You can't tell me they're a bad team. They have a fantastic roster. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but they'll never win a championship or even make it to a championship at this point with the roster they have right now. Now, I'm not saying Carmelo Anthony's a game changer, but the man can drop buckets. And that's what they need coming off their bench. I'm not saying he starts. I think Carmelo Anthony coming off the bench will give him a spark plug and not have to have Dame and CJ swapping off, playing 40 minutes a game. It'll give them a rest. And maybe Carmelo Anthony can go back to averaging 18 points a game, but strictly coming off the bench. I know it might be a little far-fetched, but I personally believe he can do that. Another team that I think would be a good fit for Carmelo Anthony, and this team usually gets guys like they got Jimmy Butler out of the blue, they got Tobias Harris out of the blue. You know where I'm going with this. They got Al Horford out of the blue in free agency. You know where I'm going with this. the Philadelphia 76ers. They're one of those teams that usually picks up guys out of the blue, like you don't expect them, and boom, they land on that team. So I would not be surprised if we see Carmelo Anthony in a Philadelphia 76ers uniform next season, because Brett Brown and the whole Philadelphia 76ers organization like doing some interesting moves that could possibly work out in their favor, but sometimes they don't. Like the Jimmy Butler thing didn't really work out. But I think the roster they have right now is capable of a lot of winning. And if they have Carmelo Anthony as their centerpiece coming off the bench, yes, he's getting older, so you have a few years. Same with Al Horford, he's getting old too. But if you sign Carmelo Anthony, because they're trying to win now, obviously, that could be a very serious bench unit you might want to watch out for. Because it's not like it's just Carmelo Anthony coming off the bench. They got other depth around him, Matisse Thybulle and other young guys like that can produce in the NBA right now. Before we go on to my last option that I think Carmelo Anthony, could sign for a team, I just want to say this, going back to the 76ers thing. They don't really have many people besides Al Horford that can spread the floor. Well, Al Horford, Tobias Harris, yes, they're shooters. Josh Richardson is solid on the corner, but Ben Simmons, he ain't shooting. Joel Embiid's an inconsistent shooter. Carmelo Anthony could spread that bench unit even further, because none of those guys are coming off the bench, so Carmelo Anthony could really spread that floor for the Philadelphia 76ers coming off the bench. And then my final team here, like I said, no particular order for any of these three teams, but this is the one I think is probably the most likely based off the relationship LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony have, which is a very tight bond they have. Him, Chris Paul, Wade, and LeBron and Carmelo, they have a very tight relationship. With that being said, I think the Lakers are a high candidacy for the Carmelo Anthony signing, and this is why. They have Anthony Davis. They have LeBron James. They have solid pieces around, and I always forget DeMarcus Cousins on the team. They have solid pieces around those three guys. If Carmelo Anthony comes in that squad, and Kyle Kuzma. I always forget, since like LeBron and AD are taking the Lake show now, I keep forgetting Kyle Kuzma and DeMarcus Cousins and Kyle Kuzma. So those four guys, I finally remembered all of them at one time. There we go. Then you add Carmelo Anthony to the mix with a bunch of solid guys. He could really revive that bench unit. I don't think he starts, but he could definitely revive that bench unit with JaVale McGee, Rajon Rondo, Danny Green, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He might start though, we'll see. You revive that bench unit, give it some more shooting, and then you can also spread the floor a little bit better. That's a pretty good bench unit right there. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy this video. These three teams, these were my personal opinions. Now, they seem like the most likely in my head. Put it down in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for all this consistent support lately. It's been amazing. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy this video. It's just sad how, like, this former NBA fantastic talent, yes, he's declined, but everybody, when they get old, declines. Unless you're Tom Brady, he doesn't age. Boom. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy this video, like always. Peace.